Echoes of Betrayal by Japi Mazwi. Chapter 14. Moonlight over Limpopo. 29th December 2008. On my way into Zimbabwe, I didn't dare flash my British blue passport. Instead, I bribed the immigration officers at both border posts. My passage paved in quiet corruption. A single Zim stamp on that passport, and the United Kingdom would have spat me out faster than I could say my name. I crossed from South Africa into Zimbabwe not as a traveller, but like a ghost in a diplomat's coat. At both borders, I stayed in the combi, motionless, while the driver and other passengers went out for their checks. My powerful pound sterling did all the talking. It spoke the fluent, slurred dialect of desperation and decay. But on the way back, everything unravelled. At Zimbabwe's Beitbridge border post, our combi stopped at a dusty service station to refuel. There, two men, unshaven, unbathed, unbothered, sidled up to the vehicle and murmured something to the driver. He stepped out and followed them, just out of earshot. I watched as his mouth opened wide in disbelief, his hand covering it, his head shaking like a marionette strung with panic. He gestured frantically toward the combi, his wristwatch, then to his temple, as if acting out a prophecy of a cut throat. Then, suddenly, he began to nod. Agreement had been reached. A chill spidered up my spine. He returned to the combi and called out a few names, mine among them. Grumbling rose and quickly faded. The chosen few, we stepped out. Our shared secret was unspoken but understood. No passport, or none we could afford to use. The driver left us standing in the sun with the two ragged men and returned to his seat. We were cargo offloaded, souls unclaimed. One of the men stepped forward. "I'm Joe," he said, nodding at the skinny one beside him. "This is Ben. Your driver paid us to get you across the Limpopo. The new immigration officers won't touch a bribe, so this is the way. You'll meet your combi on the South African side, at Musina." He said it like a weather report, firm, factual, and void of warmth. I tried to protest. "You can't be serious. I paid hot money for that seat to South Africa." Joe didn't blink. "Shut up and listen, British woman," he snapped. A silence fell. I felt the sting in the word British like a slap. The others looked at me. Was it contempt? Pity? Curiosity? Before I could react, the combi pulled away, dust in its wake, rolling toward the official border. We had been abandoned. Joe didn't waste time. "Don't play clever," he barked. "We're doing our job. You'll still reach South Africa. Complain to your driver if you must, but we're your path now." Stories of Zimbabweans devoured by the Limpopo came rushing back. Crocodiles, it is said that they preferred Zimbabwean flesh. If a Zimbabwean and South African crossed the river hand in hand, only a Zimbabwean would be bitten. But I was a British citizen, semi-British really. Maybe I smelled different. Maybe the crocodiles would sense my accent and spare me. There were 6 of us, 2 women and 4 men. Ben tossed an old pair of battered shoes at my feet, and another at the other woman's. "Put them on. You can't cross in stilettos." The shoes reeked of mud, sweat, defeat. But the other woman didn't hesitate. She slipped hers on, calm as breath. She wasn't beautiful, but there was something unforgettable in her round face and puppy-soft eyes. Reluctantly, I followed suit, tucking my stilettos into my handbag like relics of another life. "Walk quietly in a single file," Joe instructed. "Follow orders. This isn't a picnic. Is anyone sick? Night blind? Swollen legs? Speak now." The others shook their heads. I didn't. That was private. And who was he? An army medic? Do what you're told, or accidents happen. Death walks with us. Not under my watch, got it? They all nodded. I didn't. He locked eyes with me, red and wild like he'd smoked the sun. Got it? I nodded. Good. Now we understand each other. He smiled triumphantly. Night is best. The moon is kind. Clear skies mean fewer eyes. He waved us forward like cattle to the slaughter. Joe at the front, Ben guarding the rear. We walked into the unknown. The terrain was a wild, whispering gallery of thorns and shadows. Mopani trees twisted beside thorny shrubs. Baobabs stood like haunted sentinels, their fat trunks silhouetted like elephants in the moonlight. My thin nylon blouse caught constantly on the shrubs. My jean shorts left my thighs exposed to invisible teeth. I considered pulling on the denim jacket in my bag but hesitated. The night was alive and watching. Beitbridge sweltered hotter than Bulawayo. The moon itself seemed to sweat, and I dripped with it, salty and soaked. Then, as the murmur of the Limpopo grew near, a voice cleaved through the dark. Who are you, dogs? Talk, or I shoot. Joe didn't flinch. Take cover, children of single mothers. We dropped like stones. Joe bellowed back. We are Joshua and Komo's orphans, father of all crocodiles. In Simbi Aigobi, the metal that does not bend. In Simbi Edlezinye, the metal that devours other metals. Limpopo Godfather, freedom fighters, who are you, sellouts? Two figures emerged from the trees, armed with axes and knobkerries, righteous with power. Where are you going without passports, dogs? One spat. The land of milk and honey mourns your departure. Get up, cowards. We scrambled upright, brushing off shame like dust. I didn't know whether to cry or laugh. The men exchanged fist bumps with Joe and Ben like old comrades at a reunion. The whole encounter had been theatre. It dawned on me later. These rehearsed ambushes were rituals of dominance meant to terrify, test, and control us. Fear was their compass, obedience their currency. And perhaps most of all, it was for their own safety. Better to provoke submission than walk blindly into a real ambush.
Every betrayal leaves an echo. Chapter 15 is coming next. Get your copy of Echoes of Betrayal on Amazon and Gumroad. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next chapter.